Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Welcome. This is a Doomstone Redemption special edition. Today we're going to be talking about the Hulu series Miss America.
Mrs. America.
Mrs. America, I'm sorry. I can't ever remember how to spell which one either. You know, like there's a MRS or MR something.
Yeah, and why does it have an R in it when there's no R in the word Mrs.?
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
But
they'll never know. So this is Cate Blanchett is the big star, I think. And let me see I thought she's the producer as well, I'm sure.
Rose Byrne, Elizabeth Banks.
Banks, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna really get into the cast on this because I think that's one of the really special things about this show. But to just give everybody a quick synopsis here, conservative activist Phyllis Schlafly, played by Miss Cate Blanchett, leads an unexpected fight against the Equal Rights Amendment movement during the 1970s. And that's what the show is about. It's historical, but they do say in the beginning, you know, it's not all 100% accurate or anything like that. There's some things that they made up, like Chernobyl, the scientist lady that was in the movie wasn't actually a person from that thing. That she just represented all the other scientists that were working with them because they had like 200 scientists and stuff. So yeah, so we'll get right into it.
Are you going to introduce your guest?
Yeah, our guest today is Julie Thibodeau. She's also known as my sister. She's coming all the way from Northwest Arkansas, where she's a nurse practitioner. And in these times, we'd like to thank everybody in the medical field, you know, that's doing everything they can to keep the rest of us safe and healthy, like they do every day. But right now, I feel like they're being asked to work a lot of overtime for a lot of ungrateful people sometimes too. So, you know, if you're sick and you're going to the doctor, be nice to your doctors and nurses, because if you're not, you're an idiot.
And Mrs. Thibodeau, you are a woman, correct?
Yes.
Okay, all right, good.
Yeah.
All right, kick us off there, Russell.
I just want to know, so I'm 4 episodes into it and wanted to see kind of what you guys were thinking about the show. Who wants to go first here?
Our special guest.
Tim, let's hear from you.
No, I was going to have our special guest kick us off. What her thoughts
Well,
are.
Julie, yeah, you want to tell us about what you're thinking about the show?
Right into the fire.
Well, so I was telling Russ, I said, you know, you can't talk about this show without having some female input. You guys
Exactly.
can argue with me on that. But
No.
anyway, and I'll start off by saying I don't watch TV and I don't really watch a lot of movies. I don't know why exactly. I just spend my time doing other things. And so, you know how the social media gremlins get into your brain and know what you want or like, whether it's shopping or what your profession is. And so this hit me on the face and like Twitter, Instagram, every time I pull up Facebook, it's like, you got to watch this. So I thought, okay, I need to get Hulu and watch this. Like I never even pay for any of those services. So I started watching, and there are only 4 episodes so far.
Yeah, that's it.
The next one comes on next week. And so I right away had to remind myself this is not documentary, it's historical entertainment, because I prefer historical accuracy. I mean, I just do, and I know that about myself, so I have to pull back.
So does it bother you that a lot of people get their history from shows like this instead of actually reading and researching?
Not really, because I think if you have open conversations about that, and maybe you can go back to some historical resources if you're interested enough to actually read the history on that. I think anything's better than nothing to start
Right.
this conversation.
That's true.
That's how I feel about that. So, but just right away it bothered me because of the song, which I love, and I was like, well, that wasn't in 1973. That came much later. So I'm one of those people that sits in the movie if I go to a movie and say that's not right. So.
So you're a critic by nature, huh?
Yeah.
I like that. I like that show, The Goldbergs, because they always say 1980 something. They never tell you what year it is, so they can just bring out a mishmash of stuff from the 80s and kind of blend it all together.
Yeah.
But at least there's a female producer. So.
Oh yeah.
That's good. I like the character. So the first episode was Phyllis Schlafly. The second episode was Gloria Steinem. The third episode was Shirley Chisholm. And then the latest one was Betty Frerdine. So I knew who all those people were before this show, and I'm going to throw this out there. Is that typical of people that watch these sort of what do you call this? I was trying to think. What is this? It's a drama or all these social
like a biography drama or something like that, right?
Yeah. It's a drama based on true events.
Mm-hmm.
So
I didn't know who any of these people were, other than I'd heard Gloria Steinem. I knew nothing about her. I mean, I just didn't. I'm not a historian, so.
I knew Gloria Steinem and I knew Shirley Chisholm because I had kind of watched a documentary in the past that dealt with her. She's a really interesting lady. Definitely bold. And I think I really like the casting that they've done with this show. Rose Byrne as Gloria Steinem is fantastic. Of course, Cate Blanchett, everything that she's ever in, she's fantastic in it. She's a powerhouse. I liked Uzo Aduba. What was her name, Othie?
Yep.
She's Crazy Eyes from Orange is the New Black, and she's the one playing Shirley Chisholm. And it's so nice to see her in something that's just completely different. But if you go back and you look at the pictures of these ladies and stuff, they really did a good job of making these characters look and sound, a lot like the people actually were. I loved this last episode had Tracey Ullman was the main character on there, and I hadn't seen her in anything for a while, and I was like,
it's been like 20 years since I've seen her in
how
anything.
Great she was. She's probably in some series that we don't watch.
Oh, I see her all the time because she's on BBC. So.
Oh, okay.
I can send you some links to all the things.
Watch a lot of BBC, huh?
Yeah, I guess so.
Gotcha.
I watch Lawrence Welk on Saturday night because it comes on before my other BBC show.
Thank you. But and so I don't know who some of the real characters and some of the fake characters are on the side characters and stuff. So I think that would be an interesting challenge as an actress. You've got these people that they can really delve deep into portraying this actual person, but then you're supposed to just be this, you get to make up the entire character within the confines of the script and stuff. So that's pretty interesting. Overall entertainment, though, guys.
I think Cate Blanchett really steals the show because if you watch footage of Phyllis Schlafly, I mean, she really nails it. I'm having a bit of a struggle with Tracey Ullman because I love her and I love everything she's in, playing Betty Frerdine. Just if you know anything about her, if you've read about her, if you've seen any footage of her, I mean, she's good, but I'm struggling with her.
I can tell you now, we have not.
Well, you should go. What I mean, it's to open your world. You can go back and YouTube or.
We had no idea who she was before. We have no idea who she is now. Obviously, she was very important. She was like the big name of the women's movement to them.
So she wrote a book in the 1950s called The Feminine Mystique.
Yeah.
And that started the whole kind of revolution or whatever you would like to call it, getting the women out of the kitchen. It was interesting because in the Second World War, when a lot of men went off to war and women were really working, I mean, they were working, doing things. And then and then all the men came back and you're supposed to pretend like none of that ever happened and everyone goes back to the kitchen. And so that didn't work very well. And then that's when all of that started.
They made a really good movie about that called A League of Their Own.
Yes, it's a great movie.
It really captured that struggle.
Part of why I don't know any of the story is because I am so, my wife says it's amazing how little that I actually comprehend going on around me. So I don't know anything about this. I haven't read much about it. I think the acting in this is fantastic, but I've watched just the first 2 episodes, and it is, for me, and everybody knows this about me, is that it is so slow and so political that I lose interest in, do these people really even care about this part or that part of the movement, or are they trying to push some other agenda? And I just get lost in all the else that's going on. So I don't know if that gets clearer after the first 2 episodes, but I'm struggling with that piece of this. What do you?
I think without historical context, it would be hard if
That's
you didn't
fair.
know who these women were, what their background was, what role they played, what states they came from, which political party they were affiliated with. I think it's a struggle without having to go back and look at some of them.
But I want to give it time so I do understand more about the story. It's interesting though too, is that apparently whatever marketing they were using for you, they were sending to me too. We identify in the same vein or something, because this was all over the place. And there's a commercial where Cate Blanchett, I haven't got to this part in the show, is pushing the tag down in the girl's shirt from behind. She turns around, she got all the armpit hair, and I went, I'm not gonna watch that. No, the only reason I watched is because of all this. It's just like, you didn't hit your audience with that one. So it was interesting. So I'm curious. I don't know who to recommend this to. That everybody, hey, have you watched that? And nobody's watched that I've talked to so far.
Tim, jump in here.
Do you think the marketing on that was? I'm a bit ignorant about production and where people are at on production after COVID. Like I keep watching Wheel of Fortune, and I'm like, when are they going to run out of episodes? So
right.
I wonder what things were in production ready to go. If this just happened to be something, or I don't know why, or maybe because we were getting into primary season politically. I don't know how this got pushed out and so heavily marketed as opposed to.
Yeah, well, I think what it was is it's Hulu's really only new series that they have right now, and I think they did a full press marketing on this because it's showing up in all my stuff too. Now, they obviously know, the social media gurus, that I like entertainment, I like shows and things like that. I mean, usually something with Cate Blanchett would get on me anyway, but yeah, they did a full press marketing on this one. Othie, we've got to hear from you. I swear he paused his video and walked away 5 minutes ago.
I'm here. I've just been listening. I definitely agree with what Julie said, that Cate Blanchett, she's incredible in this. The cast is great. I think the time period, the way they do the set pieces is pretty incredible. And what strikes me is, to me, this really wasn't that long ago. And the way that men treated females, but also the way that females treated men, like, the back and forth, it just blows my mind that that's how we used to interact. And it wasn't that long ago. It'd be interesting how they kind of push this forward. And yeah, Hulu's been hitting me hard with this one too, and that Little Fires Everywhere. It's like everywhere I turn, I either see this one or that one. So it's like that's all they got on their docket. That's kind of what they're pushing. But I think it's a good series. I'm just like Eric, not really into the political thing, so it doesn't really capture my attention like I hoped it would. But man, what a great cast!
It's kind of like House of Cards without the murder.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, we don't know if there was any murders yet. Now, people like my sister who are smart probably do. She's like, no, this person's going to get murdered next season. It really happened.
Is there going to be more than one season of this?
Well, it's a season
probably
on there, so I don't know. This is
how could they? I mean, because they're going to run out of story, right? I mean,
no, because
wait, there's still women around now.
Well, yeah, they actually didn't do away with women. Well, and one thing that was interesting to me, so I'm watching this, and I'm assuming at some point there's going to be a spot in this show, this is how historically stupid I am, that this ERA thing is ratified. And I was looking it up, and Virginia was the last state to ratify it, and they did that in 2016.
Right.
Yeah, so
Have
it was
all
they
the
missed
states
their
have
10-year deadline.
ratified it now?
No, it's no.
Right.
It never happened because they didn't ever meet their deadline. So to me, I've always kind of confused emancipation with equal rights.
Oh.
And so I thought when women got the vote, bless their hearts, that gave them equal rights in the law. But no, that was not the
Are you just
dummy.
Are you just oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
Hey, I'm the same way. I'm sorry, I'm ignorant. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm right where Russell was. I was like,
I thought the emancipation was an equal rights thing, and
Yeah.
which I mean it was a portion of it, I think, but I didn't know that women were not protected under the Constitution.
Well, so this whole series that we're talking about, I can wrap up pretty, politically speaking, financially. Women weren't able to get credit cards in their own name until later on in the 70s.
I still don't see a problem with that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna make sexist comments. I already told you that.
Yeah.
Just being stupid.
Well, some people would be SOL if they had to rely on their own income and not the income of their female spouses.
Right.
So, I don't know. I know my brother. I don't know everyone else what your situation in life is, but yeah, it's.
Hey, look, you single?
You're not going to offend either one of us. You know that because hey, we brought you on for your opinions. You lay them down.
Othie's got several sugar mamas.
Well, that's what I just
Oh my God. You weren't
actually-
supposed to say that. I'm sorry. Tell Taylor to not watch this one.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Othie, what would you rate the show? Is it something you're going to continue to watch or anything like that, or?
I'd give it 6. Is what I
6?
kind of, out of the 10 that we do. And there's a few people I'd recommend it to, but not like our whole group that normally listens to our podcast. I would say pass.
No.
I'm not giving it anything. I want to continue to watch this, even though it's hard on me because I'm an idiot. But I want to continue to watch it. I would like to have further conversations about this because, I think there's a lot of things that I just take for granted. I'm being serious that I don't even think about. And, I'm married to a woman that, doesn't really push any of this. She doesn't care. She just kind of politically, she doesn't give a crap. And it's amazing. I was talking to her about all this and we just are both pretty ignorant. And so anything that opens up my mind to see some of that, as long as I don't fall asleep, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, without it, our lives would be everyone's lives would be really different, economically, socially, education-wise, for men and women. So, I think everybody has benefited from the work that they have done. Okay, so I have a question about your rating system. All the Roberts, are you going to have a female, are you going to have like a Meryl Streep and that's hard because there's not a lot of women with the same name where you can
It would
have
have to be a Roberta.
Yeah, that's valid. I mean, never even think about that.
Yeah.
By the way, I love the rating system. I totally yes, that's something I can relate to.
Well, you just got to pick what you think it is and find a counterpart. Maybe a movie the two have been in together.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if Robert Pattinson ever does something good, we'll have to change the last place.
I heard your
Roberta
last
something or other.
Why is he getting so much
Good, you don't like him either.
God, no.
You didn't watch any of that Twilight stuff?
No, that would be the reason that I wouldn't like it. I didn't like any of that stuff.
He must be like a great guy. You know what I mean? Like, people must really like having him on set. He must buy lunch for everybody every day or something, because he keeps getting cast in this
Maybe
better
he
and
might
better
be
stuff.
the only one that hasn't like assaulted someone in the Me Too movement. We may be
That's
Very
true.
true. That is true.
male
But he's got a following, don't you think, from the whole Twilight thing? He's got women that swoon over him, and I mean, I don't see it. I think he's weird looking.
Probably a lot of dudes too.
Yeah, maybe a lot of dudes.
Swooning
Fair
dudes.
enough. But I wonder if that's why he keeps getting the roles.
I don't know.
I
He's
don't
a
know.
hot commodity right now, but I'm like Julie. Maybe he's the last of the ones that hasn't had a scandal.
There may
The
be
only
some
scandal he had is his girlfriend was cheating on him.
going on now that they look at people's backgrounds and I don't know, but yeah.
I do got to say, I wanted a little bit on the cast. Cate Blanchett's great, but I don't care for Rose Byrne in this. I don't know why. I think that I see two different characters in her story. I see, this activist one side, and then this other side where she is. I don't even know how to explain it.
Oh, do you know? Okay. Do you know that Gloria Steinem went undercover as a Playboy bunny? Have you read that story?
No, I haven't.
When did they get to that part?
That's probably bridging where you're having this struggle, because she's portrayed that way in Mrs. America, because she had some real issues with some of the other feminists because of her looks and because of the Ms. Magazine. And that's a story. There were several movies made out of Gloria Steinem going undercover as a Playboy.
I think that's exactly what it is. It's the dual nature of who she is, that, she doesn't want to be married, but she's got this serious man all the time. So you're saying one thing, and then you got a secret. And then, like you said, I knew that she was known for her looks and stuff like that, at least originally. And I'm like, okay, this dual nature of her, I don't really care. So maybe she's playing the character perfectly.
Yeah,
It would be hard to juggle being a feminist and a sex symbol.
Yeah.
I do it every day.
I knew he was
Yeah,
gonna
you
say
do.
that.
No, I juggle.
I knew he was going to say
I'm
that.
just a juggler. I like to juggle.
But even just like this last episode, the 4th episode that focuses on Betty Friedan, and Gloria's in there, and the women working at Miss Magazine, and one of the African American characters, wanted to talk about how African American women were treated and are treated.
Yeah, tokenism in the workplace is what she was.
Yeah,
was alluding to.
That was a powerful scene to me, because that's still such an issue for men and women.
Yeah,
right.
So.
Well, entertainment-wise, Julie, what would you rate this as? You can just give it a number, because I know there's the historical part of it, and we really back the ERA and everything that it stands for. But just in terms of, is this fun to watch?
I don't think it's fun to watch. I think it's hard to watch. So if your rating system is about fun, it's not a fun one. I'd give it a 4 maybe on that.
Yeah, well, that's good.
So
that's good. Eric,
but
did you rate it?
You like it?
Did you give it a 6? What did you give it?
Yeah, I didn't say, but I would say 6. I would say what's his name, Hoskins on this. I mean, it's enough that it's piquing my interest when I'm on the phone reading articles, reading stuff about the characters as the show's going on. At least I'm interested enough not to be playing Pokemon Go or Facebook, and you know what I'm saying. So there's some entertainment value in it, and at least I like to know things if they're presented entertaining, and so that's my piece.
I would give it a 6 as well. I think that's a fair assessment. I think that we're going to really see this show talked about a lot in the Emmys and the Golden Globes and stuff from next year, because it has so many good actresses, such good. It's almost like the Mad Men for women.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense to you guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's going to just sweep the award ceremonies and stuff.
It's got that one guy from Mad Men in it too, right? Isn't that guy that plays?
He was in
Fred?
Mad Men. You know, I never liked Mad Men either, though. I watched like 4 episodes, and I was like, these guys are jerks.
You know, one thing I keep noticing about all these shows we're watching is, oh my God, did everybody smoke back in the day?
Yeah,
yes, they did.
They did.
Holy shit! I'm like,
we all stopped a year ago.
It is amazing. Everywhere you go, somebody's smoking, and it's so out of place from where we're at today, because it's like, if you're not 15 foot from the door, I'm shooting you a bad look because I'm getting smoke on me.
Yeah, I do want to say I have one problem with this show that kind of makes it a little bit harder to watch. So you have all these amazing actresses, and they're all given, like Sarah Paulson, you know, she's a side character, great actress, and they're all given these really great lines. Well, you can only listen to someone delivering a powerful line so many times in an episode.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you can't say every
Overkill.
line. I mean, they are in a room of talented actresses, so you know they're knocking it out of the park in front of each other all the time. But it's like, hey, you can't deliver every line like it's the last line of the film every time. So to me, that's kind of been making it a little bit more difficult.
And that's kind of my 4 rating, given it 4, because when I was watching this show, I don't know how to describe this. I knew that I was watching a show, and that if you're drawn into something like a book or a movie or a TV and you don't want it to end, even if it's historical drama, that I would have given it a higher rating. Eric, I definitely could have walked away, maybe not and played Pokemon, but like did online shopping or something for 5-10 minutes a couple of times. So.
Well, and that's the thing that's great about a podcast, is that I am watching things that I told you. I saw the armpit hair and I was out. I was like, I ain't watching that. That is not for me. You know, and listen, you could call me a sexist all you want. I can't be seeing that armpit hair.
That's what did it for you, huh?
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like we've beat this horse.
I think we should get back together after we watch a little bit, though, don't you think?
I think we should. I think maybe we're going to have a end of season 1 special episode.
I think there are 8 or 9 episodes, maybe.
I don't know.
Of this one.
You never know.
Yeah. So when it's over and we can. Sorry, I tried to get rid of the noisemakers, but I forgot.
9 episodes. 9 episodes.
Okay.
So after the 9, we can get back together, and And in the meantime, everyone can do some historical research.
Yeah, that's fun.
Why don't you write an essay for us and send it to us?
I totally will.
Well, if we do a written review of the show, we'll let Julie write it, because obviously anyone tuning into this has figured out she's way more intelligent than we are.
Absolutely.
That's not true. There's a lot of stuff I don't know, like all the stuff that you guys know.
Yeah. Movie quotes don't save lives.
Dirty jokes.
Yeah.
Dirty jokes. Stupid.
Othie, where can they find us, brother?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. We're everywhere.
YouTube, Bumbler. Where can't they? Stitcher. Get into the group.com. I don't know. Where can't they?
I thought it was really cool. I was sharing with the guys that iTunes just straight takes video format for the podcast. It was like,
that's awesome.
Cool. So I clicked it on my phone, iTunes, and there's my face, and it was awesome. I felt like a real celebrity.
Yeah, that's weird, because I've never seen your face and thought, awesome.
Oh, well, I do it every day in the mirror. You don't ever look in the mirror and just give yourself a wink?
You get up. Good morning, beautiful. Gonna be a great one today.
We're on Reddit. I mean, we're everywhere. We're just
we're everywhere. You can't.
But Julie, you'll be up to joining us again. I'm asking you on the spot to talk through this.
After we watch the episodes, so that'll be what, like 5 weeks or 4 weeks?
Yeah.
Depending on what my life is like.
Wow. Don't commit. You don't have to commit.
Well, no, we'll see. I had to cram for today because I'm telling you, Zoom wears me out. It wears me out.
You're doing it at work a lot?
Well, we aren't allowed to use it at work for security reasons, but the rest of my life, like the nonprofit world and all the church lady stuff and all this other stuff is all like Zoom. And I was on a 50th Zoom birthday party for a friend last night. And of course, we're all 50 or over. And so there was like 80 people on the screen. Well, you had to get out a magnifying glass to look at everybody. This is okay. It's just 4 people. So it's not.
Great. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for inviting me.
All right. So that calls the end of this episode. I'm going to stop the video now.
Okay.
See y'all.